A year ago, when China announced the discovery of what it claimed to be the largest gold deposit on Earth, I released a video warning that Beijing would not treat that gold as a mere resource, but as a geopolitical weapon, one designed for a single purpose: to break the United States by breaking the dollar. I said then that gold would become China's economic warhead, that the world's assumptions about gold being immune to supply and demand realities would be exposed as a fatal myth, and that this discovery would be used to usher in a new global monetary order. 1 year later, multiple outlets have begun saying openly what I was ridiculed for saying first. China intends to use gold as a strategic weapon against the United States and the dollar itself. This is the curse of my life. I continue to make predictions that come true, and yet I'm ignored every time I make them. On October 7th, the very day Hamas launched its attack on Israel, I stayed above the emotional storm that consumed the West and said publicly that Israel would respond by devastating Gaza in a way that would finally turn the world against them. I said that this time would be different, that a new generation no longer worshiped the old mythology of Israel, that Netanyahu would misread the global moment, and that Israel would lose the world by believing it still had a blank check to act without restraint. I predicted that the right-wing wave sweeping the globe would send Israel the wrong signals, and that when Israel pushed too far, the world would recoil. I was right again, right early, right alone, and ignored. The same blindness is now unfolding on a far larger scale with China and gold. Americans still cling to a childish idea that gold is somehow exempt from the basic laws of supply and demand. They treat gold like a myth instead of a commodity. They pretend its price is powered by magic instead of markets. But gold, like anything else, can be manipulated, flooded, hoarded, weaponized, and used to destroy. For decades, gold and the dollar have moved in opposite directions. When the dollar is strong, gold weakens. When confidence in the dollar collapses, gold surges as the safe haven. That relationship has defined the modern financial era until now. The danger is not that gold reacts to the dollar, but that China now has the ability to flip the script and make the dollar react to gold. Beijing almost certainly knew about its super deposit long before it announced it. Instead of revealing it immediately, China waited, accumulated, strategized, and built partnerships through BRICS while planning a world after the petrodollar. With one of the largest gold reserves on Earth, known and unknown, China now holds a weapon more powerful than any army or nuclear arsenal. All it has to do is open the valves. A massive, deliberate increase in global gold supply would crash gold prices, destroy gold's credibility as a hedge, and trigger panic across global markets. Then comes phase 2. China, or a BRICS coalition, introduces a gold-backed settlement currency precisely when the world is desperate for stability. The dollar would be caught flat-footed, exposed, and dethroned. Overnight, America's greatest strength, its currency, becomes its greatest liability. This is how empires fall. Spain's silver, Ming China's silver. The same cycle every time. First comes wealth through metals, then comes power, then comes complacency, then comes financialization, then comes the separation from production, then comes decline. The West, like every empire before it, became a consumer of wealth instead of a producer of it. It outsourced, imported, borrowed, speculated, and convinced itself that its money would rule forever, even as it stopped anchoring that money to anything real. Crisis is the womb of power. The United States used World War II as its birth moment to establish the dollar's reign through Bretton Woods. China will use economic catastrophe as its own moment to crown a successor. The difference is that the U.S. used victory. China will use collapse. I said this a year ago. I said it before the outlets. I said it before the analysts. I said it when the discovery was first announced. And once again, the world refused to listen. But the clock is nearly out of sand, the dollar is running out of time, and gold, misunderstood, underestimated, and now weaponized, is about to change the global order forever.